Welcome to Starting Your Own Medical Billing Business with Rachel Green. Now, guys, you guys already know you've been waiting for this course for months, and I had a really nice fancy course all fixed up and everything, and then I lost it. It crashed. And then I thought, you know what? If I don't get it out to you guys, I'm never going to get it out to you, and I promised you. So this one is kind of, it's shoestringy, but whatever. It's going to have the same information. It's just not going to have all the pretty graphics. So let's get started. Now, if you guys are already my subscribers, then you already know that on my website, thejadedmedicalbiller.com, there is a free checklist that you could download, has all the steps you need to start your own medical billing business. So if you guys are new to my channel, go to my website right now, thejadedmedicalbiller.com, and download that free checklist. So I'm going to pull up that checklist because that checklist is what I use. Sometimes I get in there and I update things. If I get like deals or if I get affiliate codes, I will link the affiliate codes, as you can see right here on these blue links. They go places. Okay. So I have my startup course. Obviously it's linked in there, but the IRS, the EINs, the NPPES for your NPI number, all those things are just links that take you to the official sites, but they're free. Now let's get started from the top so you understand what this checklist is. On the first one, it's Start Your Own Medical Billing Business course. I had that course. It's still up and running, guys. If you're new to the industry and you need to learn, then go ahead and sign up for that course. And we do live classes every Sunday as well. So many of my subscribers have already signed up for this course and taken it, right? So this is for new people, but if you've already taken the course, who cares? You can always come back through this webinar and learn more because the industry is ever changing. If you don't need the course, you're a medical biller, you're experienced, you know what you're doing, you just need to really know the business. Here we go. You're going to get your business license for the state that you want to operate in. And here's the thing about medical billing business. Start well. Okay. I made a lot of mistakes. I'm still paying for a lot of the mistakes I made when I first started my business. Okay, so you're going to choose the business entity. This is the second point of this checklist that you can get free from my website. Are you going to be a partnership? Are you going to be a limited liability company or a corporation? Now, when I started out as a limited liability. And then I went into my accountant and a lot of things were happening and there were a lot of things I was doing with my business, and she changed me to a corporation. So she changed me to a corporation because she knows what all that's about. I don't. So I always tell you guys, go to your accountant. Don't do what I did. If you guys have been following me for a long time, you already know I talk about messing up on my taxes and having to pay way more money at the end than I ever would have had to pay if I just went in and talked to an accountant and had them set me up. Okay, it would have cost me a couple $100 for my accountant to set me up. So I don't know which business you want or what business you'll end up having, but I do know that you want to start as a limited liability company for sure, but always go and consult with an accountant, a local one. Okay. The next one is you're going to select your end of fiscal year, right? I did December 31st, but your accountant will tell you what is better for you. So talk to your accountant, or you can just choose a date. I always say the last of the year because I'm not trying to make things more difficult for me. But again, consult. Apply for your IRS employer identification number. So that's an EIN. All businesses need it. See, it's highlighted blue because it'll take you right there and apply. And then you'll use that for everything. So you don't need to use your own social security number when you're putting it on your W-9 when you're getting new clients. And you'll understand that later, but you'll have an EIN number. And then you're going to register your business with the state. Now, that's not necessarily for all states. Again, guys, I don't live in all 50 states. I do know for the state I'm in, I had to register separately. And many of you guys will really understand what that means. And if I'm saying it wrong, you're probably saying to yourself, that girl don't know what she's talking about. And you're right. I do not know. All I know is sometimes you just need a business license. And sometimes you need a business license and you need to register with the state. So that is up to you guys individually to do your due diligence and find out exactly what your state requirements are and how to do that. You know, I think my business license cost $80 and I was living in a state one time and it was only $50. So I think the state licenses have different fees, but I do not think any state has a license over 100. Maybe the big states do, but I don't know. But it's a pretty inexpensive thing to get. And then you'll have all that up and running. You've got your entity, your fiscal year, your EIN, your business license. And right here, guys, after you've obtained your county and city business license, you have effectively started a medical billing business. Okay? It's really that simple. So when I go over this course or this webinar, you're going to be like, oh, I'm going to start a medical billing business. I gave you 3 steps. You started a medical billing business. You've chosen the type of entity. You've applied for your EIN. You've registered with the state. You got the business license in the mail. You have a business. Isn't that cool? Okay, so now let's really get into the meat of the business. If you have a corporation, you need to file letters of incorporation. If it's a partnership, you need to create and sign a partnership agreement. That means if you've got 2 or more people or one or more people. So let's say you go into business with your brother or your sister and you're going to be partners. All right, so you need to obtain an NPI, which is a National Provider Identification Number. Here we go with this. This is a little more complicated because it will tell you if you look at the if you look up, do I need an MPI for medical billing businesses? It'll say, no, you don't, only practitioners. And then some people will say, yes, some sources of information will say, yeah, you do need an MPI. And if you go to the national MPI lookup, like the NPPES lookup, and you look up medical billing businesses, you will see thousands of medical billing businesses across the country that have NPIs. So that will confuse a lot of you. And it confused me for a very long time. And I called and called and emailed until finally I got an answer that I'm going to tell you, and I hope it is sufficient. I was told that once in a blue moon, you will get a payer, a random payer. Not everybody's a huge Cigna or Primera or a Blue Cross Blue Shield or, not everybody's that. There'll be some random, weird local insurance plans that people have, and they may require that the third party biller, which would be you, also have an MPI. And when that happens, you'll need to provide an MPI. That's the only reason why you're going to need an MPI as a medical billing business. Now, I have an MPI for my business. I've never used it. I've always used the practitioner's MPI, which is really what you're supposed to be doing. And I got it when I found out that you needed one, but I could never figure out what I needed one for. But I have it just in case. And so when I called, the lady on the other line said, once in a while, they may require it and then you'll need it. And I'm glad that I got it because my MPI took, oh my God, I don't even remember now. I think it took me 3 months to get. Now, I've spoken to some of my clients, some of my students, and they got their MPI in like a couple of days. I don't know what I was doing, guys. I really don't. I can't tell you. But it took me 3 months. I had to everything kept coming back to me and I had to resubmit it. And so think about it. If you get a client, let's say you're running, right? You've been in business for a year and you got a couple of clients and you get a nice client. You're like, oh, I like this client. This one signed a contract and we're ready to go. And one of their big payers requires you to have an MPI. Okay. At the best time, you're going to be delayed a week of billing, right? Because you got to apply for the MPI. And worst case scenario, which I'm going to use my situation, 3 months, you'd lose the client if you cannot file for them. So it's always better to just get the MPI ahead of time instead of waiting until you run into a client that's going to need it from you and then you're going to be mad and super delayed. You're going to select the medical billing software. Now, you guys already know I like Cario. I have a link because I have an affiliate link with them. I like them. But if you want to go with Advance MD, if you want to go with any other company, go ahead and go do that because all of them offer great service with different, like little minor variations of what they offer. Cario will not take you without a client. So that takes care of that, right? If you're right on the beginning and you don't even have any clients, but you want to get Cario, they're not going to take you because they charge you every month. And if you don't have clients in 3 months, you're going to cancel them. So they would rather not even go through the rigmarole of starting you up if you don't have any clients. So my alternative, I wouldn't even say it's an alternative. I would say if your budget is low, go to Office Ally. So Office Ally isn't free, but it's really inexpensive and they don't charge you until you start processing claims, guys. So that means once you get the Office Ally account, it's your account. You're in there. You can learn, you can train, you can watch their tutorials, you can understand how the system works, get familiar with it, download all the forms and files that you need. And let's say it takes you 3, 4, 5, 6 months to get a client. You don't have to pay for Office Ally. You could be learning it, mastering the program, training on it until you get your client, and you don't have to pay until you start processing claims. So Office Ally is a great alternative, or not even alternative. It's a great system to start out with. However, Office Ally is very manual. Okay, it's cheap. So even though they do a really good job and their customer service is great, you're going to have to do a lot, right? A lot of manual, putting things in and making sure things are connected, and a lot of manual mapping of things you need for your clients' claims to get out. So with the more expensive systems like Cario and Advanced MD and, Emma and all these other different programs, they do a lot of the work for you. So with Office Ally, you'll feel like you need maybe 3 or 4 employees. With other systems, you may need less because the system does more, right? So it's just where you are. And if you do not have the budget for a Carrier or an Advanced MD, you do Office Ally. You're just going to have to work a little harder, a little longer. And as soon as that money starts coming in, switch over as soon as you can to a system that will help you grow faster without as much work. Work smarter, not harder. Purchase limited liability. Now, an E&O. So E&O is errors and omission, okay? Remember, you guys are not dealing with your money. It's other people's money. It's a doctor's money. It's a physical therapist's money. It's a therapist. So you can't just be willy-nilly with other people's money without insurance. Some are, a lot are actually, because a lot of people in this industry do not have these coverages, but I'm never going to tell you guys not to do it. E&O is errors and omissions. Let's say you are doing some billing for people and you do something and you jack it up and everything gets denied and it's wrong and it can't be recovered. If a practitioner sues you for that, you need to be covered for it, because unless you're making doctor physician money and he or she wants all her money back that you lost for her, that's going to be very problematic for you. So go ahead and get errors and omission. You don't technically need liability. I got liability because I wanted to be double insured. You also get all kinds of coverage in the liability package, like a data breach, an employee who goes rogue. Let's say you hire somebody and somebody you hire is remote and you thought you did all your due diligence, but you didn't, and they stole all your patient's information. That'll cover an employee. That'll cover a data breach. And in this industry, you guys got to really be careful about data breaches. Please make sure you put everything, get super strong passwords for everything. Like let Google generate these passwords for you. Get that secondary, how like when you log into something and sometimes it'll text you to say, hey, here's your code, put this code in order to get into your account. For medical billers, I want you guys to have as much security on everything. Even my jadedmedicalbiller.com, even this consulting company that I have, I get people emailing me all the time. Hey, and it's phishing. It's a little link. I will not click on a link. If you email me and you got a link, I'm not clicking on the link. Like a hidden link that they link into a word. Click here, and the word here is highlighted blue. I'm not doing it, guys, because the industry that I'm in, people are constantly trying to hack me. Regardless, you guys are at high risk for it because of the industry. So be very careful and make sure you have your liability insurance so you can cover when these types of things do happen. Again, I went to Hiscox. That's my affiliate link. If you want to use it and thank me for it, use my link. I'd appreciate it. Otherwise, go to your own medical billing, or not medical billing, but go to your own insurance company and see if they have a business section of Farmers or Progressive or whatever, and if they offer business insurance, and then get it from them. Create your website. Now, your website is very important, guys. This is going to be the most important and probably the most expensive thing you're going to do. You need that website to look nice. You need it to be able to tell your story, your company story. You need it to all the links to connect to someplace, and you want that to be set up so that you get found on a search. So go ahead and search your local medical billing companies near me. You will search, and many of you guys will see that some of these places that show up on Google won't even have a website connected. Like, what is that? I don't know how they're making business. Maybe they just have really good word of mouth, but many of them will not have any website. So you don't want to be that person, because who's going to contact you? Nobody. And then remember, I don't care if you have 4 O's, right, on the Google, 4 pages of medical billers next to you, or 10 or 20. Don't say, oh my God, look at all these medical billing companies just in Indiana. Like, there's too much competition. Don't think that, because many of those medical billing businesses are not even up and running. Okay. More than half of them have maybe 1 or 2 clients, and maybe 3 or 4 or 5 will have a big number of clients, right? So most of those guys are not even your competition. Most of them are not even, operating in a manner that would be, that would be considered competitive because they only have a handful of clients. And so I don't want you to get discouraged by the number of them because many of them aren't even really operating on a high level. Okay, so you're the only one that could do what you do. So regardless of if there's 50 pages in your city, you're still going to be able to get clients. So make sure that website is up and running and it's got the tags, it looks good, it looks professional. The copyright is really good. So copyright is just like the content. Somebody writes the content. You can do your own copyright or you can pay somebody. If you don't know how to create a website, pay somebody to do a website. You can go to Fiverr, you can go to Wix, you can go to GoDaddy, and they will have website creation teams ready to help you. And I think mine goes to, I have a link, I think it goes to GoDaddy. And so if you want to support this channel and use that link, then go on ahead and do that. Otherwise, do it yourself or choose any website provider you'd like. Okay, so you're going to set up a marketing plan. That's very important. You're going to decide what you're going to do. Are you going to do postcards? Are you going to do Google ads? Are you going to do YouTube ads, Facebook ads? Set up your own marketing plan. And we'll go over that a little further on in this course, but that's going to be something you're going to need to set up. Join a professional organization. Now, the AAPC and AHIMA are always there. You're going to want to join a professional organization, the AAPC or AHIMA. Now, this is not required. I'm just saying you can join them and, just establish a little bit of your legitimacy. You can also join my website, thejadedmedicalbiller.com. So there's all kinds of professional organizations you can join, those being the most notable and, easily identifiable AAPC and AHIMA. You want to choose an accounting method. Okay, so whatever that is, you choose, and you're going to select the software. QuickBooks is an easy one, but you guys may have a different one. Just make sure to make it easy on yourself because you might start your medical billing business and have one client for a year and cannot find more clients. And then you might start a medical billing business and have 10 clients by the end of the month. You want to make things easy on yourself. So you want to be looking at a software that can really, help you out. Again, work smarter, not harder, guys. Try and get things that will just make your life easier and will make it easier for you to scale. Open a business banking account. You need a business banking account. And then you want to create a business plan. Now, a business plan is like any business plan, but you can get a business plan template from online or the Small Business Association and then go from there. That's going to be very important if you guys need financing, if you are interested in trying to get some kind of investors to get involved. You want to put a plan together so that they understand that you understand what you're doing. Consider, this is not required, consider contacting a payroll processing firm. This is when you start to have employees. Paychecks is what I'm familiar with. You don't have to. You can go through any record keeping payroll processing thing that you want. And a lot of times, depending on your bank will also have this service with people at the bank. So you can check there. So then you want to establish an agreement, a salary agreement. If you have a partnership, if you don't, this doesn't apply to you. But if you do have a partnership, you want to establish a salary agreement. And trust me, account for not having any business. So make sure whatever that agreement is, make sure it's clear that you're not going to just pay them, that we need to start getting business up and running. We need to start having clients. And then this is what you can expect. You're going to have to learn how to price your billing services. That's important. Some states do not allow you to bill percentage wise. I always like a 10% across. That's what I offer my clients. I will collect 10% of your collections. I don't differentiate from new, current, future, or past billing. It's all the same. The way my personal medical billing business runs, it's like I'm going to get your AR that you've had sitting in there for months. I'm going to take 10% of that. And I'm going to do your current billing and I'm going to do your future billing. And it's just going to be 10% straight off the top. That might be a lot for some people. I talk to my students all the time when they book private mentoring sessions and they're like, this person's paying me this much money, this person's paying me that much money, or what do you think I should charge? And I'll tell them, charge 8%, charge 9%, charge 10%. And I can always hear the gulp On the other line, they're just scared. It's scary to be dealing with money and to negotiate what you're going to charge people. But let me tell you something, guys. If you're good billers, this doesn't apply to people who are brand new in the industry. But if you've been in the industry and you're just starting a business, but you've been a medical biller for years, if you know what you can do and you can really do some damage on some AR and you can really collect some money pretty quickly, then you have to get used to the idea of charging for your worth, because you and I both know that the money these people lose in terms of filing, human error, just people, the billing team being overwhelmed and leaving a lot of money on the table. 10% of collections is nothing compared to what many people lose. So that's always a scary thing, guys. I understand. But if you know your worth, if you are a medical biller, you've got experience, you know that you can really do some good work for them, then you cannot be afraid to charge for your value and for your work, because most of them are always going to try to get you to bill for nothing because they're used to billers who they're paying $15 an hour, $17 an hour. But you have to make them understand, yeah, and you also lose thousands of dollars a month too because your billing team is overwhelmed. They're not properly trained. That's why you're sitting on 150, 300, 400, 500, a million, $2 million in AR. But I'm saying you have to make them understand that your skill set and your expertise is what they're paying for, and it's going to pay off in their reimbursements. However, you guys want to make that happen, make it happen. Obviously, I'm going to go over a little bit towards the end of this course. It's going to be 10 videos, guys, because it's going to be a lot. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. So the next thing is going to be your contract. Now, writing a contract is going to be very important. I used to have a free template on my website, but I have come to realize it is not a good idea to do a template because every state is different. I don't want you guys to get in trouble. So the contract has to be unique and customized to your business and your offerings and to the policies and regulations in your state. So my recommendation is to do some research, try to see what other companies are doing, look around at the local industry, local vibe, and see how much people are charging, what's legal, what isn't legal. You'll have to determine if your state doesn't allow you to do percentages or if they do allow you to do percentages, because your pricing will change based off of that. And then always go to a local healthcare lawyer, guys. There's a different lawyer for everything. There's an entertainment lawyer, a defense lawyer, and a corporate lawyer. All lawyers are different. So you want to look for a healthcare lawyer who specializes in healthcare law locally. Now, they don't always have to be local, but you always want to go to a local lawyer because they know the local laws. And they're going to be the easiest ones to work with, meaning cheaper, because lawyers charge by the hour. So if you're getting a lawyer from New York talking about, can you tell me what I need to do in Indiana? That lawyer from New York is going to have to do a lot of research. That's money, that's time. But if you just go right to a lawyer in Indiana, they know the law. They don't need hours of researching to get your answer. So that's why I want you to go to a local lawyer. Most lawyers will do a free consultation. So sometimes you can get a lot of your questions answered and then create your own contract based off what you get from that free consultation. But then I always want you to go back to that lawyer officially and have them look over the contract and sign off on it to make sure you did everything correctly, because that's going to really keep you safe. So with a lawyer reviewed contract, your liability and your accountant, you have spent money that will save you money. All of those fees are meant to save you thousands, and trust me, they will. An accountant's going to make sure everything is set up correctly so you can get the most benefit from your taxes and you don't have to have any fees. The insurance is going to keep you safe if something happens. If you make a mistake or your employee makes a mistake, and a lawyer looking over your contract is going to make sure that that contract is legal, it's enforceable. And I want everybody who starts a medical billing business to enforce your contracts. You get that money if you did the work. It's owed to you. That's very rare, but there are practitioners who will try and stiff you. So I want those contracts to be enforceable, and that's why a lawyer will help you with that. And then you're going to have to learn how to be a medical biller. So if you're already a medical biller, like I was a medical biller for years before I started my own medical billing business, you don't need that, right? But you need to have the skill set. Okay, so starting a medical billing business is different from being a medical biller. It's the same thing with starting a restaurant and being a cook or a chef. So if I wanted to start a restaurant in Las Vegas and I found out Gordon Ramsay was going to teach me how to start a restaurant in Las Vegas, and he said, listen, starting a restaurant in Las Vegas is very different from starting a restaurant any other places. I know all the laws and the tricks and the trades and how to start it. And this is what I charge. And I go, okay, I'm going to sign up for Gordon Ramsay's restaurant startup course. And then when I get there and I tell him I can't cook, he's going to look at me like I'm crazy, because Gordon Ramsay didn't tell me he was going to teach me how to cook. He said he's going to teach me how to start a restaurant in Las Vegas. So you are supposed to come with a skill. Either you're a home cook, a self-taught cook, or you went to school. And then he's just teaching you the business side. This is what we're doing here, guys. We're teaching you the business side. So learn the skill or come with the skill, and then we're going to teach you how to run the business. So that's what this is. So if you guys do not have that training, go ahead and click that link. I have an advanced medical biller course certification on my website that you can sign up for, where, you know, this certification is new to the game, right? So if you want something a little more established, go to the AAPC, go to AHIMA, or any technical school locally to get that skill set, and that'll work just as fine. So let's go through that. So this is the free checklist. If you guys want the free checklist, go to my website, thejadedmedicalbiller.com. Download this checklist. It'll have all of the links there. Remember, some of them are affiliate links. If you want to, you know, thank me for this video, go ahead and use those links. And if you need the course, go ahead and sign up for my courses. Remember, there's a lot. If I put my course on this little webinar here on YouTube, we'd be here for months, and there's so much. So I'm going to give you all of the good things you need. But obviously, if you really want the meat and potatoes, go for these courses if you don't already have the skill set. But remember, this is going to be enough to get you started. And learning is going to be constant, guys. You're going to always be learning because this industry is ever changing. And so this is the Start Your Own Medical Billing Business checklist. And guys, honestly, if you do all of this, not even if you do all of this, if you do all the way up to the third one or the fourth one, you've technically started your own medical billing business. It's up and running. It's an actual business. So within 3 steps of this checklist of this video, you have started a medical billing business. The rest is just setting it up. And now going forward with the rest of the videos coming forward, I'm going to do 9 more. It's going to be a total of 10 videos, guys. We're going to teach you how to run it and operate it. And then towards the end, I'm going to teach you about the marketing side of it. So please make sure to subscribe and stay in touch and click the notification because you do not want to miss it. 2022 is a real banner year for medical billing. I mean, it's so needed. It's not even funny. All right. I'll see you next time. Bye.